Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quest Unplayed. Quest Unplayed is a game podcast where three of us just talk about everything and anything about gaming. And today's podcast is joined by Anthony,
Hi, everyone.
Zach,
Hello.
and we have another guest, Leo.
Hello, good evening, or good morning.
Yeah, good morning for me, actually. But yeah, thank you for joining. So I'm really excited for you as well. Before we start, this podcast is sponsored by Minimap, your ultimate gaming hub and a gaming companion app. You can sync your game accounts, make your own game collection, connect with other gamers, enjoy original content, and do anything and everything about games. Let's watch that sponsorship video.
Jeez, it's so good.
Yeah,
Every time.
I loved it. Thanks.
I feel like the video has to be updated now with the Game Awards 2024.
Yeah, I think we're going to be working on that next year, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now we're kind of busy with the live streaming event and all that going on. But
That's true.
yeah, so how is everyone?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
I'm okay, Coach. I'm okay.
Awesome. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Leo, and about King's Gambit?
Of course. King's Gambit is a cooperative turn-based roguelite. So just think combining chess with an RPG. You have the RPG side of things where we have unique characters and weapons, and it's all played on a chessboard. As for myself, you can find me, if you guys don't mind a little shameless plug, youtube.com/@Leonidas chess. I'm a chess content creator, and I really have found my niche in the YouTube community doing chess videos and sprinkling in a little bit of some variety games. But for the most part, my chess has led me to where I am today and to the creation of King's Gambit, which is coming to a close right now.
All right.
All right.
Chess, right? I'm not. Does anyone like any? Are you? Do you play chess, Anthony and Zach?
I did long time ago as a child.
Nice.
I didn't play chess. I started playing chess in middle school.
So
I
now?
joined the chess team. I played chess on and off just for fun.
Okay.
And then, but in middle school, I was like competitive in a way.
All right.
Sometimes I play chess with my management at work.
Ooh,
I'm sure.
sounds
Mental chess.
Yes.
I'm like, you sure you want to do that? They're like, I don't know. And I'm like,
fun. Make that move.
All right.
Leo chess, right? Is that what you said your name?
Yeah.
Your name was
Leonidas chess.
Leonidas.
Spartans. That's what I call my community.
Oh, that's where you got the name from. Okay, the 300, right? The movie.
Yes, the movie 300. Yes, absolutely.
I love that movie.
Where it's dangerous to be a messenger because you're going to get kicked down the well.
Oh, right. All right.
I was lost for a second, but you wrote me back in, and now we're good. Now we're tracking.
Okay, so let's find a little bit more about Leo, about his gamer personality.
Ooh,
This is gonna be,
fun part.
yes, this is the fun part. So are you ready to take this quiz, the gamer type quiz, Leo?
I am ready. Learn your gamer personality by finding out what character class you are.
Yes.
Before we begin, I'm gonna just say, just a guess before it even begins.
Okay.
Some sort of indie game, like assassin type thing. That's what would be. If there's an answer for that, for the type of gamer, that would be the type of game I like.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Okay.
So on a long, tiring week or weekend, what do you do? Do you play games with friends or do you play game alone?
A long time ago, when I was in my early 20s, I would have asked to play video game together. But now that I have a family and stuff like that and other things, I'm gonna say spend some quality game time alone.
That's the right choice as a father.
Yes.
Yeah, the new
Yes,
game
absolutely.
that just released isn't my type, but a friend is urging me to play. Do you refuse at first but play anyways, or do you just play right away?
I would play together right away. I
Okay.
would. Yes, I would.
You're thinking about joining a community with strict terms to get game information. It is too much for you, or you can just follow the rules and get good information.
It's too much. Too much for me. I'm gonna grind it myself, or figure out my own way to do it.
Okay. Before you buy a game, you carefully read over people's reviews, watch trailers, check the price, or if the game looks interesting, you just trust your instinct and go for it.
Well, if the game looks interesting, I don't trust my instinct. I just kind of impulse buy. So the second one for sure.
Okay. If someone's watching me playing a game from behind, it's perfect opportunity to show your amazing gameplay, or you're actually good, but due to pressure, you are missing skill shot.
I'm actually good at it, but due to the pressure, I'm missing skill shots. Absolutely.
Does that happen when you play chess too? Like if too many people?
Yes, when I've been streaming and I've gotten up to maybe sometimes 14, 15 people watching for a couple minutes, I tend to blunder, and then that's when like the viewer count drops back to like the normal 1 or 2. It's just the pressure is it's too much for me.
You're like, oh,
I know that feeling.
Yeah, you're like, oh, did I make the right move? Next question. You are playing a newly released game for the first time. Rather than having regrets later, you go over the tutorials, or if the game seems to be familiar, so you just skip the tutorial.
I skip the tutorials. Okay. I absolutely skip the tutorials if it's familiar.
Does King's Gambit have also a tutorial too? Like
it does.
Okay.
It does have a tutorial. It's a fairly robust but short tutorial for anybody who's familiar with chess or who is unfamiliar with chess. You'll come away knowing how to play the game enough to win, or to have fun at least.
Nice. Next question. You are playing a mystery-solving game. Based on your years of experience in mystery-solving games, that guy is the culprit, or although that person looks suspicious, you start collecting evidence first.
I probably would start collecting evidence first. To be honest, I don't play many mystery games.
What's your favorite genre of games? I mean, other than chess.
Chess. Favorite genre of game. Battle Royale is too mainstream and too cliche to say that. Rocket League is one of my all-time favorite games, so I don't know what genre of game that would fall under, but Rocket League is.
It's
It's a MOBA?
cars kickball genre. Yeah.
I think
couldn't have said it better myself, Zach.
I was like, actually, what I wouldn't even know where to classify Rocket League, but it is a ton of fun to play.
Battle Arena. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying the genre. Awesome.
Is that because you can blow each other up?
It's competitive.
Okay. So next question. In order to equip the rune that increases defense by 0.01%, you have to return to the lobby. Your friends are waiting, so you just go, or you make them wait and go back to the lobby to equip the rune.
I'm pressing forward. I'm putting the foot on the gas. There's no.
Okay,
that's not enough. There's no going back.
Nice. Next question. During gameplay, your companion's character has been bitten by a zombie. You might be able to find the cure, so you decide to accompany them, or everyone in my group can be infected, so you choose to kill them, even though it is tragic.
Why, Carl? Everyone in my group can get infected, so I choose to kill them, even though it's tragic.
Yeah, that's usually what happens in like zombie movies too. Like you just bring them along and just turn everyone to zombie.
I love it when they bring them around. They're like, they're gonna be fine, guys. We'll find a cure. And I'm like, it never happens.
Yeah, never happens.
You're gonna die.
If it doesn't happen in video games, it doesn't happen in movies.
Yes, foreshadow of your death. Next question. Even if I don't express it, I feel like I keep losing because of my friend. You lift up your friend's spirits, or you send them tips and tricks for gameplays.
If they're not if not doing well, I'm not lifting up their spirits. I'm getting after them a little bit. So send them a link to the character's tips and tricks.
Awesome.
In a nice way, suggest that gameplay.
Okay, next one. The character has bad performance, but the appearance is totally my type. First, considering the balance of my party, I cannot put them in my party, or you have to put your favorite character no matter the cost.
You know, I get really annoyed when there's a character I like and it's not compatible with like the team. And I have put my favorite character in a party no matter the cost before, selfishly. What's that game? I got dragged along by two veterans of the game. It starts with an O, I believe.
Overwatch.
It's not Overwatch. It might not even. It's like up to a 4-person party game that they released it. Then they made some adjustments to it, and I can't even remember. It was on Xbox for a while. It's a very popular game, and then just recently had a DLC. But that game specifically, the character I liked, I had to use it.
Yeah, we'll come up with the answer along the episode. But
I'm stumped.
yes,
I'm thinking.
Okay, you guys can think. Next question. My current desktop is messy with tons of icons, but it does not affect my gameplay. Or you hate chaotic things, so it is neatly clean.
It's pretty messy. It's pretty messy, but it does not affect my gameplay.
Okay, awesome. Next, before getting into a game, you search the internet just in case you end up missing achievements, or you have never played a game for the achievements.
I have never played a game for the achievements.
Yeah. Last but not least, you who happens to play lots of games, play a game you feel like playing at the moment from your collection, or you have a gaming schedule.
Play a game I feel like playing at that moment for my collection, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Let's see if you are right about the assassin. Oh, you are a scientific alchemist. Is this really the best version of this video game? Let's see. The game system has
This
flaws.
is all you got?
Yeah. The game system has flaws, and how could the developers have made a crappy reward system like this? Also, nitpicks on the video game. You hate games with open endings or multiple endings. Make scientific analysis on how I would have made the game differently. I guess it kind of makes sense because you're a creative director, right?
Kind of, it does make sense, for sure.
You enjoy single-player games that requires lots of brain power. Chess, I say, fits into this category.
It does.
Yes, before enjoying the game,
Yes.
you need to study game-related information.
Actually, that one, you can even take it a step further into men in general. When they watch a football game, American football out here, they'll watch highlights of that game just after the game is completed. They just continue to watch ESPN highlights of the highlights that they just watched of the game they just watched. So when it comes to the games I've played, I'll watch YouTubers play the game I just beat to see how they did it or how they enjoyed it, for sure.
Yeah, I think I do that sometimes too. Like after I finish it, like, oh, how do other people play the same game that I just beat? Kind of like watch them. So yeah, makes sense. You can come up with 100 logical refutes on the arguments on the chat, but you're just too lazy to respond. You don't care if this is my favorite game or not. You will still criticize about the latest update. You still play that one game that came out 20 years ago because it is a good game.
You got me. Chess has been around for centuries.
Yeah, I would say.
And I still play it because it's good.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for taking the gamer type quiz.
Of course.
Nice. All right. So next we will be moving on to our first waypoint, the bulletin board waypoint. This the weekly game chronicles, where we talk about the weekly game news, and obviously you guys know what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be about game of the year.
Yep.
So, did
Yay.
everyone expect Astrobot to win this year?
I didn't know what to expect. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay. Leo, what was your choice for the game of the year?
Honestly, I'm glad the Elden Ring DLC did not win because
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think-
really
Yes,
its
I
own
think
game.
we're on the same
I mean,
page.
because that opens a can of worms that
Yeah.
or that sets a precedent. If there's no precedent before, you don't have to worry about that. But if a DLC wins for the first time, that just opens the door for the other AAA studio games, such as maybe God of War if they ever came out with a DLC, Fortnite if they came out with a massive DLC. So, all things considered, do I think that the Astro was deserving? No, but it's not the worst choice.
I guess it was kind of like, eliminating the worst choices first, and then they were like choosing the one that was like good among the other ones, the ones that are left out. Because
But it was a good thing that, like Leo said, that the Elden Ring didn't win because
Yes.
we don't want a DLC to win.
yeah, they should have a totally like
But
separate category.
Elden Ring did announce something else during the game show, Rourke.
Yes, the
And it's a standalone, not a DLC. A new system.
I don't 100% get that. It's supposed to be like a co-op. Thing,
It's a
right?
co-op two to three players, something like that.
Hmm.
Complete different system.
So do we have any information on that? Like, they didn't.
Besides I'm not sure. They just
Yeah.
I think they showed the trailer, but but they confirmed it. This is not a DLC. This is a standalone. Yeah.
I guess it does make sense because I think From Software they said there's not going to be another DLC after the Elden Ring, the Shadow of the Earth tree. So does make sense.
Well, I also think they did this on purpose, just in case too, in case they win.
Maybe.
They were like, "Oh yeah, it's okay. Here's a standalone."
Yeah, maybe they
Yeah,
want.
I think the developers and whoever is the creative director in that studio made a good business decision because I personally downloaded Elden Ring. I played it for like 20 minutes to an hour and I loved it, but it was too difficult for me to want to play by myself because I have a whole bunch of other things in my schedule and things like that. And the fun to work I had to put in to get it wasn't balancing out. I think adding in a co-op with 2 to 3 players, you grab a couple of your buddies, you're going to increase the fun. And we know how they make Elden Ring difficult. The difficulty is still going to be there. The satisfaction is, but now you have a couple other people to go with you. So I think it draws in those people who probably watched a lot of the streamers and YouTubers play it, but didn't really want to get into it themselves because like myself or like maybe other people, they were solo players and they didn't like that. They wanted to play with a party member.
Yeah, I think when the DLC first came out, there was like an issue of like it being too difficult. They made it on purpose. I mean, obviously, but like it would have.
Yeah.
Takes a long time to beat it.
No, they just said like what is it like? Probably 1% of people, 1 point something, completed the first boss.
That's ridiculous now.
Like that's a big turnover. If you can't beat the first boss, that's it.
Exactly. Like I think
Actually,
I think this is how the rest of the game's gonna go.
That's the same thing when Armored Core first came out too. The first boss was so difficult as well. I remember. And then they had to lower the boss difficulty because people are getting frustrated they can't get past the first boss.
Yeah.
And they were asking for refund.
Really? Yeah. So I think
of course.
I kind of agree with like what Leo said, because like, if after playing for like 30 minutes or so, like it's a fun game. You kind of want to continue like into this journey, but then you also realize like you have so many other things going on in your life too. So you can't like be spending 10 hours a day or something just playing this one game.
Yeah.
So
It's
and
tough.
also you hate, like how you hate it when like you want to play, like continue playing the game, but then you kind of have to stop in between and then hold off for like until the weekend or something, and then you kind of can't get into the same vibe that you had before. So that also
I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, that kind of kills the mood too.
Come back and you forget some of the controls and stuff. You're like, wait, what was I doing? You know what I mean? You're like,
and then you kind of have to start over.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
My friends are like, well, I remember we were doing that, and I'm like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah. But I mean, I really hoped Balatro to win, but I mean, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but
I think that's when we all wanted to win when we talked about it.
I think
we vote and then guessed, and then I think somebody said Elden Ring. I didn't honestly. Now that I'm looking at them, I've never played Astrobot, so I can't be like Astrobot's garbage. But I beat out Wukong.
Yeah. Well,
I thought that game was like.
Just so that I'll give you the list here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Here, Astrobot. I think Astrobot is a good game. I mean, it's so fun.
It's not bad, but I mean, considering how epic Black Myth was for everybody, that's kind of crazy.
Astrobot had a lot of IPs. Don't forget that.
Yes,
they had every character from every single studio, like game, big title games.
Yes. So that's they had like a benefit then in terms of that.
So just think of it like it's like Fortnite, and you got all your superheroes from all the games playing.
Yeah. Listen, I don't play Fortnite.
Did you
remember in the beginning? You do remember in the beginning when Fortnite first started, it was so popular. That's all everyone was talked about for the first couple of years.
Actually, when Fortnite first started, it wasn't very popular because I bought it for $20 to save the world campaign before they had the battle franchise. Me and my friends just loved it, and then it was like just crickets. And then they made the battle royale, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, Fortnite!" I'm like, I was kind of sad at that point because I liked Save the World.
I think I realized Black Myth wasn't going to win after they said they won the action adventure or action section. I kind of felt like, they're just giving one award for Black Myth. Wukong.
Let's say didn't Astrobot win 2 or 3 awards? I saw there.
I think so.
Best game direction, right?
If I recall,
or best direction. No.
That's
art.
Best game direction.
Right there. Yeah. But the main important thing is what did the indie reward? Who won the best indie?
Balatro.
That's what I want to know. Balatro did win, didn't it?
Yeah, Balatro. There was like no competition.
There was no competition at all.
There was. I knew it. Like best indie. Okay, that's Balatro. There has to be Balatro.
Balatro was one of that game that no one expected it to be so popular in the beginning.
Yeah.
They're like, it's just a card game.
So I was looking up. The top indie games of the year, and the 3 of those were on there, and the other 2 weren't. Was Lorelei and the Laser Eye, which I've never heard of, Balatro, and Animal Well. Beneva and UFO 50 wasn't on there. That's crazy.
Neva was also like had a big hype before he came out, but like after he came out, like it didn't reach to the point of this, and like all people's expectations. Feels like, I mean, it's a good game, and it's got great art, graphic, and all that. But yeah,
I have a hard time playing single player games. I won't lie. Almost always, I'm like, single player, that's cool, I guess.
I do enjoy single player games because sometimes when I even play online games or just streaming an online game, I get so focused that I don't talk at all. And people say, "Why are you so quiet?" Because I'm talking in my brain. I'm like super focused, like when I'm doing something, and that's how I don't know. That's why I enjoy single player games because I don't usually talk a lot, and I get super focused and immersed into the games.
I can see that.
Makes sense. So, Leo, did you play Balatro, or have you played Balatro?
No, I didn't. We actually didn't take. We took some inspiration looking at Balatro for King's Gambit, but itself we never did. All we took into major inspiration was how much money that dude made from it.
That's a good inspiration to take away from the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true, right? I mean, I also heard
That's insane.
Local Sunk didn't even know it was going to be this successful. I think he wanted to just make a fun game to play with his friends. He wasn't going to release the game on Steam either.
So according to 3 sources, it surpassed $1 million in gross revenue just 8 hours after launching. That's just 8 hours. So I don't even know where the rest of it's. And I'm sure. Had estimated the net revenue of the game at. This is $8,858,561.87.
Yeah, and it
That's
looks
net
like
revenue.
that game maybe cost at max 300 to 400 to make at max, and that's being generous. So
solo dev,
definitely.
yeah,
And it's, I mean,
if he's a solo dev, then probably even cheaper.
I think he's a solo dev.
I think he was a solo dev, but he probably hired outside help, like contract.
Yeah,
freelancers.
for music and stuff. And I heard someone on Reddit said or it was like on a comment on the YouTube said imagine you making some random music for a random indie game and then get that music played with an orchestra and the game works. That would have been a crazy ride too for the music composer too, right?
I could go. I could die happy, Ma. I done did it.
It's like this, Mom. I'm on. My music is on TV.
No, but honestly, to think about it, to have a game like Balatro, or even, I mean, it's just like, Meat Boy or whatever, Super Meat Boy, make that much money, and you know what I mean. And you didn't put he put money into it. He worked on it, right? He worked hard, but that's a turnaround that I'm guaranteeing AAA games, if you think about how much it costs for them to make the game and how much they got from it, would love to have. Percentage wise, it's insane.
I think Balatro. What did you say the final number was?
It was it was 8 million. This is net revenue, so this isn't how much it made. It's just this is net revenue. Sorry, $8,858,561.87.
I mean, if you think if it's $500,000, he 20x'd his money or something like that, or something. That's crazy.
And also imagine all the merches that he's gonna sell and all the collaboration work that probably wasn't counted.
The merch was actually pretty funny. The merch didn't come out until recently, but the merch was small. He actually focused on getting the DLCs first.
He got a lot of crossovers for that game.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yes, the collaboration.
Yeah, and they did. I think I remember they did one with Data Diver. I think.
I think it was a lot of collaboration, and then he has more collaboration coming too.
Yeah.
So this is not the end. This is just the beginning for Balatro.
Exactly, and also you never know. King's Gambit might collaborate with Balatro, right, Theo?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
you could. You
for
never know.
A price.
For a price, just give us $1 million.
$1 million.
Sharks with freaking laser beams.
1 million.
It's too much
US
to ask
subs.
for them to have a warm meal.
But I really enjoy watching these indie devs, thrive. What's the ape guy, the Stardew Valley guy, is another success story. Balatro. I can't even think of any other ones, but there are so many, not so many, but that gives inspiration to all the other
Coffee Talk.
Coffee Talk is also another one.
And we had them on the show.
Yeah. So King's Gambit is gonna be in that list.
Every developer has their own story how they got there, and it's really inspiring to hear the story, how much it took from them to get point A to point B.
Yeah.
What obstacles they had to face, like financially, like all that.
Every once in a while, they're just like, we were at a game jam, and then we just made this game, and I'm like, oh, okay, very nice.
Yeah.
So how did you guys come up with King's Gambit, Leo? Like, what was the beginning, like the initial story there?
So what was it? I think it all stems from the initial game. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Shotgun King, the final checkmate. Shotgun King, the final checkmate. It's it's fairly it's a good game. It's a very good game, but it's on the chessboard, and you have a chess piece that has a shotgun, hence Shotgun King.
Yeah.
And your goal is to kill all the pieces on the board with the shotgun to get to the final boss, where you defeat the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching, I think it was Northern Lion play it. And I was like, this game is cool. And a little bit of my pride came out, and I was like, but I can make something better.
Ooh.
I can do something better to make it better than that, or at least something similar, a chess-based game. So I started looking online for game developers, game developing companies, all sorts of people who have the knowledge and history in this. And I came across using Fiverr, of all things. For those of you guys who don't know, Fiverr is where you can get people for a price to make certain things for you. Doesn't have to be games. It can be writing a paper or doing whatever you have it.
Shout out to Fiverr.
Shout out to Fiverr. If you want to sponsor this stream, talk to these guys up here. They'll say yes or no.
I'll tell you.
But yeah, I was on Fiverr, and one of the companies came up. It's called Gravity Games now, but it was Blue Gravity Games, and they're a UK-based developing team led by wonderful leaders, and their developers are top notch. So I got on the sent him an email. He sent one back pretty quickly, and was like, "Hey, you want to set up a time to meet on a stream or something like that?" And I just hopped out of the gym, went into the car, and we talked for about 45 minutes. And initially the game I had in mind was just a chess game, but each character has specific powers to influence the chess pieces. So I would be playing against Zach. He would have a character that would influence the chess pieces. And then we started talking and said, hey, for the price that it would cost, you're looking to be upwards of $500,000 to $400,000 for that. And I was like, well, what can we do to lower the price? And he said, well, let's look at Shotgun King, the final checkmate, and try to take some inspiration for that. So we got to talking, and then obviously we want to make sure we separate ourselves from as much as possible from Shotgun King. And I said, hey, I'm writing a book series. I'm making my own little world here. How about we combine that with the Shotgun King mechanic world, combine those and see what happens. And from there, that's where King's Gambit was born.
Oh, all right. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I was watching the Shotgun King, and I was like, this reminds me a lot of the demo I played. With the, not a lot, but with like the arrow shooting and stuff like that, and the aiming. I was like, oh, so many times I got caught by the chess pieces.
It does remind me.
Did you play by yourself, Zach, or did you play with one of the other guys?
I just played by myself. I played last night, and I think one of the things I really enjoyed about it too was the fact that you could pick different characters and they had different abilities. Of course, my favorite was the witch, because I like the fact that she grew plants and stuff on the board. And but I was always messing up, because I'm like, what potion is she gonna throw? And sometimes I would throw the switch potion, and I would end up in front of the bad guy, and I'm like, no, and he just smacked me, and I was like, God, wrong potion. But no, yeah, I just played by myself, unfortunately. I asked Anthony, but he said no. So
Wait, did you ask me?
No, I'm just picking on you.
I'm like,
he's trying to
check
make
my messages.
He's trying to make a viral clip.
I would have played with you though, Anthony.
Yeah, we should all play together.
Yes.
I actually have curious. Have you ever played a game called Pawn Barian?
We looked at that as well. I mean, as you guys all know, there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Balatro, Elden Ring, every game takes inspiration from other games. We actually looked at Ponbarian, and we made it more of a puzzle type. How Ponbarian was, I think that's what they did. The developers they took it, but yeah, Ponbarian was something that we took some inspiration from as well.
They don't even have a trailer on their page.
Yeah, because I didn't know about Ponbarian until my friend told me like, hey, you should check it out. It's a really good game. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
There's isn't there that one game where people play? My son asked me about it once. The chess game where people just fight randomly too when they get close to each other.
Yes,
it's auto battle chess or something like that.
It's on Steam. I actually have it in my library. Hold up, let me.
I'm actually curious how many chess games do you have in your library now?
I've only got a couple. And actually, the one that you're talking about there, Zach, it's actually free to play. I don't have too many games in my chess library. It's all right. I'm gonna take 10 seconds and really just focus on this. No, is it on? It's not on Steam. It's on Xbox, I think. Yes. It's yes. So while you guys are talking, let me do a Google.
Oh, no problem.
Real quick.
And also, I know like League of Legends has their. I mean, it's not like technically chess, but it's the what do you call it?
Team fight tactics.
The team fight tactics is also like they're called something chess.
Huge.
Yeah,
I found it.
Chess Royale.
It's FPS chess.
Oh yeah, I know what that is.
It's on Steam, and it is on Steam. I just didn't see it.
Yeah, that's actually the one my son asked me about. He's like, "Dad, have you played it?" And I was like, "I have not, son." But he was like all about it for a while.
I think we took some inspiration from that game as well, because we saw some of the abilities that each chess piece had, and we said, "Hey, how can we take some of those abilities and transfer them over to King's Gambit to the actual characters?" But we didn't take. When I say inspiration, I don't mean we just copy and pasted the abilities. We said, "Hey, a tank class is a very common thing in all sorts of games. How can we take a tank and put it in King's Gambit, or how can we take a ranger and put it in King's Gambit?" And then a witch is kind of a unique one that I never thought of, but that's why the developers are top notch.
And I also talked to one of your developers, and he said to mention the sniper one too.
That you guys will have to wait to find out what that is. We can actually give you a little insight if you guys. I'll give you guys a little bit of insight of the game for the viewers. So if you guys played the demo, and if you haven't, I highly recommend it. Not just because it's my game, but because it's a good game. You've been subjugated to having just the one class, right? I believe it's the Whisperwood Wardens as the characters, and that's only 3 of the possible 18 characters, all with unique abilities, all with unique spells that you'll be able to play. So if you don't like the witch, if you don't like the ranger, and you don't like the I can't remember the whip dude, there's a plethora of characters out there. Not only that, there's also 6 different guilds that you guys will be able to face. So you guys, if you play the demo and you were able to beat it, I don't know how far you got, Zach. You would only been able to do the first 2. Well, the full game coming out in February will have all 6 of those.
I got to the point where I was frustrated. No, it wasn't bad. I don't care. I can't remember how far I made it. I kept making it. I kept going further and further, but there was parts where I was like, "Motherfucker! Like, what am I supposed to do?" Like, you know. And then I kept like, I could change the character, but I was like, you know what? No, I like the character too much. She's dope, and so that's how that. I did like her acid throw though, where just like whole square of the checkboard was taken. It was all acid, and I was like, "Yeah, take that, punks." Who likes it?
How did you? It's a roguelite. I don't how familiar are you with roguelites, Zach and Anthony and George?
Too familiar.
Yes, very familiar.
Very.
I fought a crocodile 20 times last night too.
Yeah. And
I was playing Call Machine.
I Recently, I've been playing Hades, so I've been dying so many times. I hate him with blood.
I actually, you know what? I actually kind of enjoy roguelites. But I think the thing is I'm always trying to get my friends to play the ones that you could co-op with them, because I think that'd be even more fun, just because you slowly build yourself up to be more of a badass so that you can walk through stuff easier. And to me, it's just it's kind of fun. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Plus when my friends die, I like to make fun of them. So
well, in King's Gambit, if there will be that opportunity for you to make fun of your teammate, and I believe there's a reward for you not dying if your opponent dies or your teammate dies. And that's kind of what we wanted to do. We wanted to create a game that was hard for the people who like presumably just to suffer and are masochists and like roguelites by themselves, but also those people who want to have a time playing with their friends. This game offers that for them as well. It's only 2 players. It's up to 2 players. And from what we've seen from the next fest that we had on there, from the feedback we got there, people really like the co-op. So I would highly recommend going in and playing co-op with you.
All right, Anthony, we're you and me we're gonna be streaming that game together, buddy.
Co-streaming.
Okay.
I'll watch what I say on your stream so we can keep it PG.
PG. My stream is 18 plus.
Oh.
So you could go all out.
Don't say that.
It's fine.
Just wait until my PC is all set up. My desktop is set up.
Okay.
And I'll beat you to.
You'll jump in here with us.
Yep. I'll do that.
I mean, do you have a laptop? This game can be played on a potato. I don't know if you guys are old enough. You guys look like you might be close to around my age. You guys remember playing Oregon Trail on like the big computers with the?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh! Yeah.
Like this game could be played on that. It's very, very.
Can you play it on a Mac?
Oregon Trail came out when I was like 6 or 8 years old. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be available for Mac. We just have to do a couple of tweaks on the actual algorithm or whatever it is for Steam to get it compatible. And it actually works on Steam Deck as well, even though it's not made for it. But I've had a couple friends play it on Steam Deck. So, and you can also play with controller. It's controller compatible because we do plan on releasing it eventually on Xbox and all the other consoles as well. So
maybe Steam Deck. You said Steam Deck, didn't you?
Yeah, I said Steam Deck. It works on Steam Deck. There's a couple of bugs that we'll probably not fix just because there's not that.
I thought you were gonna say we're probably fixed. You're like probably not fixed.
I mean, if the game shoots to the moon and we get a few thousand people saying, "Hey, we are on Steam Deck and we love the game," but if the majority of people we probably will find will be just on PC on the tower, so it'll be good.
It actually does look like a game that could be very well played on mobile devices too.
On handhelds, yeah, definitely.
We plan on maybe doing something like that too in the future. It all depends on. We haven't done much marketing for this game for one reason or another, but I believe that even with a natural release of this game, it'll pick up steam. Somebody's going to want to play this, and all you need is one viral video, and all you need is one awesome group such as this one here to just do a video on it, Minimap, and I project this video doing thousands and thousands of views.
I hope so. I mean, that's what we're aiming for.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're slowly getting there. Yeah.
I'm actually curious. I have a question. Since you love since you like chess a lot, and you play and stream a lot of chess, do you actually have a physical chessboard at home also?
Yeah,
like a real. Because I noticed like a lot of those chessboards, they go for like a couple of $100 and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not that stupid, I guess is the right word I'm looking for to do that. All my chessboards are packed away because we're actually moving from I believe, Zach, you're the one who was in Texas, right? Or is it? Yeah, I live in Texas as well right now.
I'm in San Antonio.
I'm 6 hours north of you. Yeah, I'm in Wichita Falls.
Ah.
Wichita Falls. That was where my second tech school was at.
Hey, that's where I just separated from. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations. 20 years?
No. I did 11.
Oh.
I was a NCOA instructor, professional military educator. For those of you guys watching who don't know what that is,
I'm on
was
16 years.
I was with security forces for 7 years. Then got picked up for this position, and then got 2 kids. And then I chucked up deuces and said, I'm gonna put my eggs in this basket of King's Gambit. See what comes from it.
Okay, that's bold move, sir. Okay.
It's not fully that. I have a job lined up on the outside, and also my wife, she's got a good job as well. And so
Well, that's good. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 16, and God, man, I wish it would go faster.
So you're actually down there. Actually, is currently in service. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Unfortunately, yeah. When I started, I had air. And I was probably 100 pounds lighter.
What's your AFSC?
I'm a 4D071.
So that's the medical field, right?
Yeah, dietary nutritional medicine. Yeah.
I only know a couple of 4Ns. You guys, this is going over you guys' head. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
This is actually fun. Like I'm just
a couple of
that's
4Ns.
That's why when I came out of the ER, I think people probably thought it was bigger than it was. I was just thrown up and had vertigo at work, and I was like, I can't drive because I couldn't even stand up straight. So I went down the ER, because anybody knows anything about the military is you got to go to the ER for everything. Like it doesn't matter. Like you could have a simple cold.
I got a splinter.
You gotta go to the ER. Someone there sitting there for hours. Like, you can let me go now. I don't have vertigo anymore. And they're like, we gotta do 2 more tests. I'm like, oh, and that's sad because I work with most of those people. So you know what I mean. So I have to be like, yeah, can you wrap this up?
Yeah. Oh, you went on base.
Well, I work in a hospital, of course. And so the ER is right downstairs. I work on Lackland.
Yeah.
And I got jacked up, man. I couldn't even, like, when I tell you I've never had vertigo before in my life. I got down. I just sat down. I was sending my some of my stuff to my supervisor for my EPP, my supporting docs, and all of a sudden the room just started spinning. And I was like, I ran to the bathroom, started puking. I was like, what the hell?
Because how many of those do you have to look over? Because that probably is what caused the vertigo. You probably saw some E5 or E4 try to do their own, and you were probably like, no.
Literally just me turning in my own secondary. But yeah, it was pretty close to that. Yeah, no. But yeah, so that's why. But the drive, so I live actually by Randolph, so it's like an hour away from my work. So that's why I was like, they'll release me at 8. I was like, the podcast's at 9. I was like, get out of the way.
Yeah, that's how serious Zach is about the Quest Unplayed.
But I will say the fact that you made that leap and you kind of are going in this direction is actually pretty exciting, because I daydreamed about that, but I was like, no.
You know what? Everyone's situation is different, though. I mean, it's not something that I would recommend to 90% of the people that I've worked with or have supervised, because you have to have a job on the outside, a spouse that has a good job. You have to have, but for the most part, people who join, that's their main income. So it's not something I do, but I appreciate the kind words for sure.
Yeah, for real. No, but yeah.
But
I just had 4 kids, so there was no going anywhere. But now my wife's becoming my sugar mama, so we'll see.
Yep.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Get that 5-year degree, woman. Just kidding.
Child care is a huge thing that keeps people in. So sorry, guys.
No, yeah, return.
It was actually very entertaining. Yeah. I was also in the Army for 2 years.
Where are you moving to from? Which stuff?
Oh, he was in the Army for 2. Oh, and you're in this position. You look smarter than. What were you in the Army?
Well, he's in the Korean Army.
Korean Army. Oh.
For 2 years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was
that's good though. I mean, Hey, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's why I liked you. That's why we connected.
Yeah.
I've heard some stories from. I never was stationed in Korea, but I've heard some stories of the Korean police and the Korean military police and our military police getting into some shenanigans.
George, were you a
That's for
shenanigan
sure.
person?
No,
You know what they say:
I was.
if you shenan once, you get a shenan again.
He says no, but he has a little bit of smile when he said it. Nah,
He did it.
In the base. Yeah. Just yeah. But anyways, so we kind of drifted off a little bit. A little bit though. A little bit. We drifted
what are you
off.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, so I just want to mention like few new games that were announced during GOTY Game of the Year or the Games Awards. Witcher 4 is coming out. That sounded very interesting and exciting. It seems
I know
like
you're excited about that, weren't you, Anthony?
very excited.
Yeah.
The Elden Ring we mentioned.
Are they coming out with a physical copy though?
If they do,
Most
Anthony's
likely.
got dibs.
I mean, these. I do like to get my physical.
Yeah, Anthony's all about the physical.
And what was the other one? Elder Rings?
Elden Ring we just mentioned.
Well,
yes.
Elden Rings we already talked about.
And then the Dave the Diver is coming out with a DLC. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, did you say something also about the developers from Core Keeper is making?
Yes.
Yes.
So they're making another game, and I can't remember the exact name of it. Anybody who hasn't played Core Keeper that loves indie games, you're missing out like 100%. I'm telling you. Have you played it, Anthony? Core Keeper?
I haven't.
It is like by far one of the best games. But they're coming out with another game called Kyora, Kyora, and it looks like a fancy version of what is that one indie game where you dig in the ground and stuff? It starts with a T. Terraria. Looks like a fancy version of Terraria. But Core Keeper is by far probably one of the games that I could tell you I've spent the most time on. That's a it's so fun. Like you can build railroads, you fight monsters, you have bases, like you garden, you fish. It's ridiculously good, but it was super cheap too, by the way. So of course that's what got me at first. I was like, oh, $5, I can support that. So yeah, that's coming out as well. I kind of like to keep my eyes on all the new indie games coming out.
Yeah, but
of course,
yeah. There's,
I think
there's a indie game coming out from it's not released yet. I don't know when it's releasing, but I don't know if you guys play any sim games like Sims 4 or anything like that. But Little Sim World is a game that
Little Sim World.
Yeah, it's Gravity Games is the one that has been developing that one for quite a long time, and it's got some good traction for wish lists and for other things as well. I say that because this kind of reminds me of Little Sim World, just in the fact that both are games that I'm probably never going to play. And the reason I say that, it's not because of the genre, it's not because of the game mechanics. It's solely because of the actual the 3D versus 2D versus this. I really like Diablo. I couldn't get into Diablo because of the weird camera angle. Like I'm very specific in my games when it comes to the camera angle. So yeah, it's I'm looking at Core Keeper and it looks fun, but I'm just like, oh man, that camera angle, I can't do it. It reminds me too much of Pokemon. Can't do it.
I love it. No, but it's definitely something me and my friends played a lot of. But yeah,
game for everybody.
Speaking of Pokemon, do you remember how Nintendo went against Power World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
how did that end up?
I think they're still fighting against the court, but Power World released an update, I think last month, where they got rid of the mechanic of you throwing the Pokeball concept.
Yeah, they I forgot what it's called. It's like I forget the name of the DLC. They also announced it.
Yeah, but well, what they announced on the Game Awards was the next expansion, the next update.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, so they.
but But I'm telling you, they're not afraid of Nintendo.
They don't give a
No.
they don't give a F. So
Well, they made so much money right away. They're probably like, you know what? If you really want to throw down Nintendo, you're gonna look worse than us about this afterwards. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that must mean they're pretty confident. What do you guys think? If this lawsuit or whatever, this legal thing is not good, is going to go in their favor if they're going to release a DLC?
I would say confident, yes. And I would also say, even if they're not super confident it'll go in their way, they may be looking at this is good press for us. Like this could be something that we could use. And if they've already taken out the mechanic that they were suing them for, I'm pretty sure they could be like, well, we already fixed it. So what do you want from us? You know what I mean? In court.
Yeah.
Like we've already fixed it, so you can go ahead and drop your lawsuit.
The thing with Nintendo, they could have started stuff saying that, oh, so this is Power World? We're making a game better than Power. Here's our game. And that's their advertisement.
I think it's funny. I think if I did it, I would just have a van roll up and grab the Pokemon. Just a van roll up, and just pull them in, and then the door shut. And be like, "You caught him! You caught a pal!" And I'm like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
So you make sure there's some candy for the.
Yeah, get it. Come on over. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, like you said, Power was a game also that no one expected to do super well, and it came out on Steam and it did super well in the first month. Like it was in the top of the leaderboard every week.
People thought it was kind of a joke at first because they saw what looked like a Pokemon with a chain gun, and they were like, "That doesn't look right." But then everybody's like, "I can't wait to give my Penguin an Uzi."
Yeah,
I played it for a hot month. I don't play it anymore because I fell out of interest with it. But
for a couple of months on PC, and then it came onto Game Pass on Xbox. So and I played there also on Xbox since Xbox had that partnership with Game Pass.
Yeah, that was nice too. I mean, because I already had Game Pass too, so I just hit it up. You know what I mean? That's a good question for you. What would you do if Xbox is like, hey, we want to throw your game on our Game Pass? We'll pay you for it.
I mean, we wouldn't say no to it. I mean, any press is good press. I don't even know what the split or things like that would be, but because I love Game Pass, I'm playing actually a couple of games right now.
I love my Game Pass too.
What is it? EA PGA Tour. When I need to cool down after a long day. And then there's a couple other games on Game Pass that I've found, but I got no qualms against them saying, "Hey, let's add it to Game Pass. We'll cut you a check for I don't know what they do, but if they said, "Hey, here's $20,000, we'll put it on Game Pass and go for it."
Yeah,
I mean that itself is also an advertisement for your game as well. Like a lot of people will kind of check it out, like, oh, it's on Game Pass. Let's see if this game's fun, and then they can recommend it to friends and stuff.
You know how many games I bought because I was excited for indie games, and they weren't expensive, but it's still, I bought them and I was like, I can't wait to play this game. It was like Haunty because I just enjoyed Haunty so much on the demo, so I just bought it. Then boom, right on Xbox Game Pass, I was like, son of a... Man, if I had just waited,
but then again,
the
Game Pass is the one that you just temporarily hold it. Eventually, games will leave because they can't hold so many games on it. And you know how many indie games come out every single month?
Yeah,
probably.
Well, that and too is on Game Pass. Sometimes me and my friends have actually played Game Pass games that were good and everything, but when we got on Steam, it was better. So if we really, really fell in love with a game, we're like, you know, we'll just get the Steam version. But we got introduced through the Game Pass version, if that makes sense. Like Monster Hunter World will definitely be getting on Steam. We won't be getting it on Game Pass. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's coming to Game Pass.
Oh, I mean, even if it did, I'm that big of a Monster Hunter World guy that I would have to.
I've been noticing a lot how Game Pass has been working now lately is they're trying to get less third-party games, big title third-party games on their Game Pass and put more indie games on them.
Yeah,
than no one expected.
I think
all
it's
their
also
first-party games they put there also. All their first-party game, like the recent Indiana Jones game that just came out.
Yeah, I think it's also too the fact that we've seen a big trend in indie games being more popular amongst people and enjoyable. You know what I mean? So That's I'm sure they have somebody going, you know what we got to do, boys, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's not necessarily about the graphics or fancy graphic or I don't know.
It's really just how fun it is.
Yeah, it's exactly.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Yeah. No problem.
It's like when you're playing Balatro. Like I never picked up Balatro right away. Still haven't actually.
Exactly.
But I look at it and I'm like, I don't get it. But there's something about that game that people are like, I love this game so much. And you're like, now I'm half tempted to buy it to see what's going on. What's up?
I'm still not sold with Balatro. That's the funny part. It hasn't wrapped me yet, Balatro. I haven't touched it.
Me neither.
You have to go buy it. You have to go. It's on Apple Arcade.
I know people who play it and then they got it. It's like wrap around them, but for me, it has a wrap. I don't know.
I'm the same way. I guess that's kind of weird.
That was actually a save for me until I actually started playing it because it was free on Apple Arcade, and I got that 3-month trial thingy, and then I just played it, and then it's like absolutely loved it. And I think our designer also started playing like last weekend. So like, I'll just give it a try, and then she her entire weekend was playing Balatro. What time is it? Like it's 3 a.m. Like, oh shoot, I gotta go to sleep.
Oh well, anyway.
And also we can kind of prove that. Google. Just a side note.
Are you guys okay?
Is he okay or me okay?
I'm okay. But it's kind of like funny how Fiverr advertisement is come out for the last.
Is Balatro on Game Pass?
Fiverr is not bad. It's really, you got to be really careful about who you get to do what.
It is.
And it can get expensive. But I mean, this isn't the first time, and I mean, he's not here yet, so we could probably. Oh, there he is. I'd say this isn't the first time I've actually heard of people making any software game from Fiverr, though, like leaking up on Fiverr and being like, "Hey, you know what I mean?" Actually, haven't we had a couple of devs that come on and that's where they found their composers?
It's about music, composers, like pixel art sometimes. Art sometimes.
Yeah, pixel art. Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people use it for like YouTube models or a lot of stuff. So, or just overlays for their stream, but there's so much more you can get off of that. So it's not a bad deal. Plus, it keeps artists getting paid.
Speaking of music, the music for King's Gambit is pretty good.
We got to listen to that.
I was jamming out.
Yeah, we put specific. Oh, we haven't even talked about one of the best parts of the game, the boss fights. Each guild has its own boss fight. Each guild's boss has unique powers and abilities and ways to clear. And to wrap it back and bring it back to the actual point you guys were making, the music itself is epic, and it ties into the feel and the vibe of whatever guild that you're facing. So I'm excited for you guys to hear the next couple guilds as you play the full game, because it's some pretty epic music.
You know what I would say to you though about the levels, it says spare or kill the king, right? And I'm like, oh man, maybe I'll spare this dude and he'll play with me. And each time he's like, you're weak. I'll exploit it later. And I'm like, every single one of these motherfuckers. Like,
yeah, we've cleared out the mechanic. I can't tell you guys too much about it, but there's a mechanic that will be implemented based on your decision. So
choices matter. Your choice matter.
So,
now I'm starting to get lightheaded again. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of which, we should actually listen to the music of the trailer.
Yeah, sure.
We kind of skipped, but we're kind of smoothly jumped into the companion waypoints. We're just talking about
good transition.
So let's watch the trailer together with music. With epic music.
Went hard on those violins.
I can kind of
I
see
love
where
violin.
with the cards, building the card was kind of like where you got the inspiration from Balatro.
So we actually got that from kind of I want to say Slay the Spire a little bit. Slay the Spire, and there's actually a free version on Steam called, not of Slay the Spire, but similar aspect, called Night of Full Moon. It's a Chinese game, I believe it is. But Night of Full Moon, if you guys like Slay the Spire, it's a very cute but still fun kind of adventure-esque, if you will, Slay the Spire. Yeah. But that trailer, I look at it and I'm excited for it, but it's changed so much since then. The trailer is built in, I want to say August, and we've had so many updates that half of that stuff is completely upgraded. So yeah, I'm excited. The cards look different. If you guys ever go to the Steam page, you'll see the new cards have been updated. But even, yeah, shopkeepers there, the map is different. It's all good stuff.
Shopkeeper looks shady. He's like, I'm selling you some cards. I'm like, I can't even see your face. Show me your face. No, but yeah.
I can't talk about the shopkeeper. That'll have to be something that happens.
Oh, see,
after
you know what
release.
it is.
Yeah.
I bet you the shopkeeper is the final boss.
Yeah.
Or the shopkeeper's your father, and he chops off
your
your
right, or can say if you're right, couldn't say you're wrong. It would have to be something that if we get enough sales, we can go ahead and build this DLC for it.
Oh,
did you hear what I said, Anthony? He's your father, then he chops your hand off, and then you get picked up the Millennium Falcon. I'm just kidding, no, but yeah.
So, have you watched the Netflix series Queen's Gambit, Leo?
I did.
Did you enjoy that show, or?
I did enjoy it. I think Levi Rosman, Gotham Chess on YouTube, for those guys who don't know who that is, said it best. It's a good show, but it portrays chess players as drunks, alcoholics, and drug addicts, which most chess players, even at the high level, are kind of like us as gamers. They're kind of a little bit more introverted and a little bit more
they're not rock stars.
Not as prone to drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And that's actually where we got the name King's Gambit. I was debating, and I wasn't professional of me, and I really didn't want to do it, but someone made the joke of calling it King's Gambit Guilds Gone Wild. That wouldn't have been appropriate for the Steam.
I forgot those movies even existed until now.
Steam page.
Yeah.
So cooler heads prevailed, and I think I cut him off and said, no, King's Gambit would be is a fine thing.
Is enough.
Yeah, that's enough. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
So do you actually go compete in like the real chess tournaments and whatnot?
No, I played like let me see one second. Like Anthony said, in middle school there was a chess club, and I kind of fell away from it for many years, and I only started playing chess beginning of last year. So I mean, that's almost 2 years ago, beginning last year. So 2022, I started playing chess, and I just kind of fell back in love with it. So long story short, no, but in the future, maybe I'll try to get into an actual tournament up in Washington, D.C. I'm going up to Northern Virginia area, try to get my ELO, maybe do some tournaments. But it's 8 hours for a tournament usually. So
yeah.
Ooh,
yeah,
That's a long day.
It's a long day.
My brain would be fried about one hour in. I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah, we us at our levels, we don't really have to worry about that too much because we make so many mistakes that the games are pretty quick, or the result of the game is known pretty quick.
Yeah, I saw on your YouTube page you had a lot of chess stuff, and I seen even we're talking about who's that one guy? I recently just even seen a clip of him, the dude that has like the real bushy hair and glasses.
Oh yeah, I think that's Levi Rosman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched, for some reason, even before this came on tonight, I watched I guess they had a clip of him on YouTube Shorts where he like drew a game like super quick.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was like, he didn't know what to do, and I was like, "That's too smart, man." I've played against someone like that.
No, yeah, it's a fun game because I mean it's the ultimate skill-based matchmaking game out there. You're gonna play people that are your strength, and when you get too strong, the people who are above you are gonna knock you down a little bit until you get strong enough to be there. It's a never-ending vicious cycle of skill-based matchmaking. That's how I describe it.
I mean, that's actually pretty true. Yeah, I would say that's. I never thought of it that way, honestly.
But it's something that you can actually. I mean, you can chess.com. It's a free app. You can play a game while you're on the train or on the metro, or you want to talk to a pretty girl, but you don't know what to do. You're at the bar, and instead of opening up the clock app, you open up the chess app. Yeah,
you would at least look smart.
Yeah,
kind of.
I mean, and that's such a funny thing too that you say. Like, you open up a chess app and be like, "Oh, you play chess? You must be so smart." Chess is more like a memorization game than it is a smarts game. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of smarts and chess, back to the King's Gambit. There's actually pieces in the game called fairy pieces, and what fairy pieces are pieces that have been played in chess games before, but not in the standard chess. They're already created pieces that uniquely move. So one of them is called the camel, and what the camel does, it moves like a knight, but it moves like an elongated knight. So a regular knight moves up 2 squares and over 1, or up 1 over 2. The camel moves up, I think, 3 or 4 and over 2. Along with that, each of those fairy pieces has their own spells and powers and abilities that shoot at you as the players playing the game. So we really wanted to give that little RPG aspect to this game. Not only are you playing against chess pieces, but there's hazards on the maps. There's pieces that throw spells back at you. There's the deck building aspect, where you create your own build of deck that helps you and your characters overcome the enemy. But at the same time, each level that you clear, your enemy will get a deck or a card that gets thrown up against you. So we're debating on whether or not to call them curses and blessings. But as you clear the levels, the game gets harder because you're getting counter tactics against you as well. And I'm excited for people to play the full game. I haven't even actually played the full game. But the boss fights are super unique. The map, the artists, the musicians, the developers, they've all done an excellent job making this game.
I would say, wasn't there? I swear there was a fey card. Is that what you called it? A fairy card? Fey card?
Fairy piece.
Fairy piece. Sorry, my bad.
Yep.
I swear there was a fairy piece either in the demo or part of the when after you play the demo, wasn't it?
Yep.
So I think it was and I was like, I don't like this guy because he's not doing what he's supposed to.
Yeah, he shoots, I think that one shoots like a green bolt of energy at you, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah,
I was like, how dare you, sir? But
as a creative director, what's the most difficult part of your job in King's Gambit?
Listening to the developers tell me, hey, this is not feasible for implementation into the game. Because as the creative director and as we've agreed upon a specific budget for the game, there's certain things that the developers can and can't do within that budget and with the time frame that we have. So I'm taking all these different ideas from games and from my own head and twisting it into how it would fit here, and I'm saying, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? Hey, how about this? How about that? And some of the stuff that you'll see in the game has been implemented because it's been my idea, but a lot of it that I've said, they're like, that's going to cost another X amount, or that's going to be another added month, because me as the creative director, never having done programming or anything like that, I don't know that to actually implement a whole new mechanic, it takes a whole new line of code, and it takes a whole new this, a whole new that, and then a play test to figure out, and then that implements new bugs. So it's been a learning process for sure, just to listen to the sound advice that those guys have and give them the power to do it.
I was about to say, sometimes just introducing one thing, that's a lot of different lines of codes throughout the game, depending on how it interacts with everything, So
yeah,
I could see that. The devs are like, I'm gonna have to work X amount of time. Yeah. That's like if someone is taking a house and building it, and they're like, hey, I want you to do some of that load bearing wall, and you're like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah,
it's gonna cost more money.
No, we just save it in the next DLC.
Yeah, that's
because I was to say that if this goes really well, there's like you just said, you can always add on to it throughout. What you do next.
I mean, that's one thing I like about roguelike games. As you could see, a lot of roguelike games that they add, like they see a game that they have a game, it does super well. The community loves them. They want more. They want to have more content, and they listen to the community, of course. And they try to come up with an idea to add more DLC or more content to keep feeding the community. And that's one thing. With roguelike, you can always add so much stuff. It's like never-ending ideas.
It is, and it's crazy. It's crazy, and I have to say, if there's anybody who's interested in making a game or coming up with a game idea, I highly recommend using some sort of AI to help streamline your ideas. So I came up with the game myself, but to flesh out the idea, I threw it into ChatGPT and into Grok and said, "Hey, is this a feasible thing?" And they say, "Yes, but think about this, think about that." And sometimes people take many years to come up with a game idea, and this game came from an idea to talking to Gravity Games in about 2 months. I spent about 2 months in the actual computer here, just going over and figuring out, hey, what can we do? Throwing it into ChatGPT, telling me this, that's that, building out some level designs, building out some character designs, and then I was able to give it to the developers, and then they ran with it and they put their touch on that. So AI is definitely your friend for sure when it comes to game development.
I use it for everything.
You know what was before AI? We used the magic 8-ball. Should I make this game? Yes or no?
Hey, I was about to go even deeper. I'm like, well, we had one day we had libraries. You had to get 3 books and 2 magazines.
Yeah.
Backwards uphill on the snow.
Yeah. Without shoes. Only rich kids had shoes. So
yeah, I think AI is a definite plus for game developers or creative directors. I think it's like a lot of people just kind of like are hesitant to use them because they're not, I don't know, they can't trust them, or I don't know, they have issues with AI. But like I think it feels like they will help out, not just with the coding or whatever, but they can kind of give you some ideas or sometimes insights, refresh your ideas and stuff, and even give you some more better opinions or advice.
I think one of the biggest the things with, and I use AI a lot now, but let me be 100% clear on that. When I use AI, I always put my own words in. It's always all my own stuff. But once I put my stuff in, I say, hey, AI, make this flow better, check the spelling, do all this other stuff, and just make it look, clean it up for me. So it's still all my own words. It's just sometimes they'll take out a word and put something fancier in, but and the main core of all of it is my stuff. I think a lot of times when people have problems, they're like, hey, write this article for me. So what's AI going to do if it doesn't have any samples, right? It's going to take from the internet. So it's going to pull from all these different things and put it in there. And they're like, well, this sounds just like somebody else's stuff. Well, it is. That's why. So, I mean, I use AI for my YouTube channel and everything to come up with ideas for stuff. And I mean,
especially with ChatGPT, I use it for research purposes, like looking up information. Because you remember how we grew up we grew up, we had to go to the library, find the stuff. But then as we grow older, internet gets popular. You remember when Wikipedia first started? No one says, "Oh, don't trust Wikipedia." People put their own words, and now it's like educational source.
Yeah,
it's like
go look it up on Wikipedia.
Go look up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, everything, like you just go up.
They're gonna stop saying Google it, and they're gonna start saying AI.
Yeah, I think so too. At some point, I mean, now it's the same for me too. Like, whenever I need to find something, I mean, I'll first search Google, but then sometimes, it's very difficult to specifically find the information that you need, and then you just like type it in, like ChatGPT, say, "Hey, I need this specific information or stat or whatever." Pull it up. I mean, it's basically all the information from all the different sources, and they kind of like summarize it. Yeah, so
it beefs it up for you.
Yeah, it's basically like saying search for all games that are similar to like Balacho, and it lists you all the games. Yeah.
I treat AI like another person, and this is gonna sound weird, but I literally do. I'll say, "Hey, I want to revamp my channel, and this is what I want for my channel. Would you like to work on a plan for me?" Then it comes out with all these things, and then I'll say, "Hey, I don't like number 2 in the first section. Let's take that out and stuff." And he's like, "Okay, no problem." And we just build it like that together. It's kind of weird. It's like having that person who will never say no to you. Like, "Hey, man, you want to talk about this idea?" And the guy's like, "I'm tired." The AI's like, "I got you, buddy."
Yeah.
So funny thing you said that is when what's it? Alexa first started, Amazon Alexa, when it first started, and then this was during time when Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out, and this is where you could change the voice of Alexa to one of the characters in Assassin's Creed, like to Cassandra, and then you hear that Cassandra voice into the like, "Hey Cassandra, what's the temperature outside?" And it goes like that whole ancient Greek. It was like so funny.
Yeah, back in the day.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey was really good, but then they kept going with the mechanics of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then it kind of fell off a little bit because they went from like original Assassin's Creed, and then they made it a little bit more open world, objective based, and Odyssey was really good, but then the ones that came from it started to fall off the cliff again.
What was it in that game? Wasn't it was like an owl or something like that? Was a drone, like a eagle or a hawk?
Yes, the eagle. Yeah,
you could throw it in the air and it would do drones for you. And I'm like, man, this is pretty fancy.
I actually have one of the first things that you can do. One of the first quests, it takes you by this big statue, and the statue actually has a penis on it, and I hung from it because I was like climbing up there, and you climb up, and I think I have a screenshot of it on Xbox. You might capture it at some point.
You have to share it with on Discord so we can see it.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's golden, so it's not like it's. Actually, don't even know where it's at, to be honest. I think I maybe deleted it. But...
So, kind of going back to your game, one thing that I noticed when I was playing the demo was not only so I kind of felt the whole you have all these powers and you're different than the chess pieces, and I like that, but also I kind of felt that in a way you were also showing people how chess pieces move too, like being educational, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the first thing anybody ever learns in chess? Like what each thing does, right? And so I kind of felt that. Was that on purpose or?
Definitely was.
Or was that something you wanted to do or something?
Yeah, it's definitely something that we had in mind because we realized if we wanted to bring in other people who were part of the roguelike community but not part of the chess community, or anybody who was not a part of the chess community and saw this game, first thing that they're going to want to know is how does the enemy move? What are their patterns? So we purposely implemented that mechanic of when a chess piece is about to move, it'll tell you what path it takes so you can avoid it for sure.
Yeah.
Whether it's the boss fight or the pieces. Yeah. One, it shakes, it tells you it's going to move, but then two, it tells you if you're going to jump into a spot that an enemy piece can move into. Because we realize that chess can be difficult, and chess pieces that are moving more once or more than one chess piece is moving at a time, and chess pieces have actual powers to shoot at you. We realize you're going to you're gonna be a little scared to play unless we give you guys
doing lots of moving.
Yes.
Wait till you learn how to play Korean chess. That's actually harder.
Wait, what's the Korean?
Shogi is Japanese chess, right?
Korean chess is chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I think shogi is Japanese. I've never
That's
played.
That's Korean chess.
Well,
Yeah,
I think the
I'm
Korean.
just thinking of Naruto and Shikamaru
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I think the Korean version is Changi, and then I don't know if it originates from Japan or any other country.
I think it originates from Chinese chess.
It could be, yeah, probably because all the names are like the.
But
Chinese,
it was hard. I didn't know. I had no idea how to play.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think. Did you guys have any other questions for King's Gambit and Leo in the studio?
Yeah, actually. I was just letting everybody else talk first. How come? So after the mission or after you get your cards, you make me hop every square to the door. It's like, why are we doing this? The door's over there.
We just want to make you guys suffer a little bit, and it's a little time to breathe as well. A little time to breathe, but you know how most games have the option, like in an RPG, to just walk a little bit to the next objective. That's kind of the feel that we wanted to do, and it takes you an extra 5 seconds. It's no big deal.
I know. I just thought it was goofy because I was like, all right, I left the tent. I was like, all right, and then I was like, I guess I gotta walk to the door. So I started hopping towards the door, and I'm like, I'm coming, door, and it opened up. It's like,
just imagine yourself as a chess piece, just hopping in it.
Just hop it in there. Also, are you a fan of pixel graphics, or is that kind of just what they decided would be a good way to go?
Cost-effective pixel graphics was the best idea for sure. That was what we wanted to do. Nothing crazy, and a little roguelite thing like that would make it. Pixel is good. If you get the good artist, they can make it really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love pixel. That's why I was just wondering, like, if you yourself are like a pixel person, and that's why I picked it, or.
Oh, not myself. The developers for sure were. They're the ones who brought me down the straight and narrow for that because the 3D is expensive, 2D is expensive, and depending on the pixel art that you decide to get is expensive as well. But
I've done all three of them, and I can tell you right now, pixel art gets me the most frustrated sometimes because you're limited by what you can put in squares and stuff. 3D is, if you don't know how to do 3D, it's kind of annoying until you learn it. But pixel art has always been the one that I love doing. But at the end, I'm like, that looks like crap. Then I delete it before people see it. I'm like,
but it's still eye catchy.
Yeah.
When you see a pixel art, it catches your eyes. Like looking at a painting and the art is in, and then pixel art is the one that catches your eye. See, what is this? What kind of character does this look like?
As an 80s baby, pixel to me has always been my favorite. So
yeah, pixel art. Good
job. Is there? So I didn't get to play with anybody. Is there abilities where both people link up and do a move at the same time, or?
No, it's going to be all pretty much individual, but you will be working together with your partner to try to beat the game clearance, or to clear the game for sure.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. Do you you got anything else you want to say, or to like let viewers know about your game and what to expect for it?
The game comes out February 3rd. That's the official release date. Be on the lookout for some more updates. If you haven't joined the Discord, if you go to the Steam page, it'll be there for you guys to join and get some updates and some face-to-face with the actual developers of the game, not just myself. But I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the 64 Squares, and I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come up here. I really enjoy. I've always wanted to try to do something like this with some of my friends, so I'm glad to see that you guys have kind of figured out your own little your way forward for sure to get I don't know if it's a game development company or your app further a further reach to people. But I wish you guys all the luck, and if you guys will have me on again, I'd love to do it.
Of course.
Yes, of
I
course.
appreciate you guys.
We always get sad when people leave, so having them back would be a joy.
Yes.
I don't look it, but I'm very emotional. Once it's all over, I'm very sad. So.
Yep.
It wouldn't even have to be for King's Gambit. It could be as like a, I don't know what you guys would call it, but guest speaker.
Guest host?
The guest. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds awesome. So
Sounds fun.
That sounds super awesome.
Yeah.
And that's actually something for us to write down in our.
Ask you guys do anything for me.
Okay.
I'll even plug you guys for my YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we appreciate it. No, I was just saying that. Write that down. Guest people. Well, we are having what's his nose from Portal on. He's kind of being a guest person.
That's gonna be a good one. Yeah, he's probably a little bit more professional and a bigger game and reach.
Yeah, but yeah. So
everybody's got their flavor.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We hope to see you again, actually, for another episode.
100%.
Sounds good, George.
Yep.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Zach.
Okay,
thank
good
you,
luck
sir.
with Gambit.
Thank you.
Here goes our outro.
Use like the